time we share, with a dash of this and a pinch of that, mixed all up with care. The best company and conversation, recipes and new creations. We're cooking up something good here at home. We are cooking up something good here at home.
Isn't this great? Fireworks, I love it. Set your tone for the 4th of July. That's what we're doing today on At Home. Is that great? Nothing as exciting as fireworks. I don't care if you're 5 years old or if you're 55. Let's go for that. Today, we're putting together our July 4th picnic, and we're glad that you're here with us as always. I like to do special things for my family, and I would like to motivate you today to just get some ideas together and have them in your mind for your children or whoever you're going to be inviting to your picnic, whether it be at your home or in a park somewhere. But for about $1, you get some nice napkins. Don't use just plain old white ones or a roll of paper towels. Look, get some nice red, white, and blue ones. These were about 3 for $1. You can pick some of those up. And that adds to what you're trying to display and trying to create an atmosphere, because it's 4th of July and there's lots to celebrate. I think the burden is on we as parents to make sure that our children know that they live in a wonderful country. There's no country in the world like the United States of America. And today we've put some patriotic names to some of the things that we're going to be doing. Now, first of all, we're going to have Firecracker baked chicken. You've never had that before because you've never had Firecracker baked chicken before. Patriotic potato salad, all-American baked beans, and 4th of July brownies. Now, I tell you, this is a lineup that is worth celebrating, and we're going to start all the festivities in just a moment, right after this important message. We'll be right back. Here's today's at-home hint, submitted by Mary Bertoff. For a festive angel food cake, take some of the batter and color it with pastel food coloring. Makes a beautiful cake for birthdays, Easter, or the 4th of July. Well, the first thing we're going to prepare today is our all-American baked beans, and you just couldn't have a picnic without good baked beans. Everybody likes them. Today we're going to get started with, see, my mother always called this doctoring them up, and that's kind of what I do. I doctor them up because if you have time, it's great to go ahead and soak the beans and do all of that, and that's good if you can do that. But Mom would take beans out of a can, and these are bush beans, which I really like because I like the flavor. And she'd say, well, now, Arlene, let's get the beans ready. We're going to doctor them up. And that means that she was going to add some goodies to the beans that already had some seasoning and some flavoring to them, but she was going to doctor them up. So that's what we do. Isn't this a fun time of the year when the middle of the summer season and we're planning picnics, and the flowers now look pretty decent because we have spent most of the month of May getting them ready. In the month of June, they're sprouting. And it's just an exciting time of the year because there's a whole lot going on, a lot of country fairs and a lot of things to do, people going to the beach. And the 4th of July just kind of really does it. To me, that's the big picnic day. All right, so we have 2 cans of beans in here, and I'm going to add some chopped onion, as much or as little as you like. I would say probably about ½ a cup, something like that. You can add green onion here if you want to. It's an optional thing. We're not doing that today because we decided we didn't want that, okay? Now I'm going to add about ½ cup of brown sugar, okay? Some ketchup. This is about ½ cup of ketchup. Now these are not down pat, these ingredients. You can, if you like a real tomatoey flavor, add more. If you like a sweeter taste, add more brown sugar. Whatever you decide you want to do, all right? And as you keep adding, just keep mixing them up. Just keep mixing them together. All right, we've got the ketchup, the brown sugar, the mustard. Now, I like to put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, just a couple little drops of that in there. All right, and the yellow mustard, and this is a couple of teaspoons. Just a couple of squirts maybe is probably better if you have that type of a container. Mix it around. Mix it really, really well. Okay. These are going to bake in a 350, 375 degree oven, and the longer you bake them, the better they get, because baked beans have to have that length of time to bake and get real good and thick. Now, you can use honey or maple syrup. I just give this kind of a squirt too to give it that maple flavor. And again, it depends on the flavor that you like. If you don't like that maple flavor, you're more than welcome to put the honey in there. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you what I like to do. I like to put hot dogs in them, especially if you've got the kids that you're taking on this picnic. And these are my good, clean kitchen shears. This is great. I just cut them up. People cut the mustard, I cut the hot dogs. Okay. When you get that mixed like that, basically all you're going to do then is put it in your baking dish. I have so much on this counter today because isn't that the way it is when you're trying to get ready for a picnic? The kitchen's full of all the ingredients that you're making for everything. Put them in a baking dish. Now, if you have a Boston bean pot, it's a brown pot, and I'm going to show you what that looks like because I baked some of these already and we'll show you at the end of the program. That makes the best container for taking beans on a picnic because it's a deep container. Okay, these will go in the oven. First of all, let's put a little, rid of that. Let's put some bacon strips across the top because that adds flavor to it too. Just randomly across the top just to add flavor. Okay. Can't you smell it already? There's something when these beans get baked, they just smell so good. And I would not cover these. I'd put them in just like this, okay? 350 oven. Let them go for about an hour, hour and a half. Doesn't matter the length of time, it's how thick you like the beans, all right? Let me show you something while we're here with these hot dogs. This is a clue. If you're taking your picnic out of your home to a park, you've got all this fancy stuff maybe the kids don't like. You have a wide mouth thermos, okay? This will hold up to about 8 hot dogs. Just lay those hot dogs in there, like that. Then you have boiling water ready, and you're going to pour boiling water into the thermos to cover the hot dogs, all right? Put the lid on it. Come back over here. Put the lid on that. And when you get to the park, those hot dogs are cooked perfectly, and the kids can have their hot dogs. You don't have to drag a grill. You don't have to drag the charcoal and all that stuff. There's another hint for you. You're ready to go with hot dogs. All right, the next thing we're going to be doing while we have the beans in the oven is our Patriotic potato salad. Now, what I have here is about, I'd say 3 pounds of red, or you can use the white. I prefer the red potatoes that have been boiled with the skins on. Then, when they're fork tender, bring them out. Let them cool, skin them off, and cut them in cubes. And that's what we have here. These are just cutting cubes. And they're cool because you have to be able to handle them. So you let them cool. You can do this the night before if you're in a time pinch and you want to get out of there early in the morning. You can do your potatoes the night before and just assemble it the next day. All right, to this we're going to add our celery and onion, ½ cup of each. Really, to potato salad, once you get the potatoes done, there's hardly anything to do with it, really. So there's celery and onion. We're going to put, I have a half a dozen hard-cooked, hard-boiled eggs, and we chop those up. So we're just going to add those. All right. And you don't want to stir it yet. Just wait a minute here. To that, we're going to add our fresh ground pepper. Now, you know me, I like pepper. It really perks up the flavor. And as I told you before, in any potato dishes, salt is absorbed in potatoes, so you almost can never over-salt in a potato dish, but you don't want to overdo it because some people may be on a salt-restricted diet. So then we'll salt it down. You can always add it at the table too, so that's a little slow. Let me get my other shaker over here. Here we go. This is better. And we'll add some salt. All right. Then we're going to do some celery seed. Now this is not celery salt. This is a seed. See that these little morsels are bigger than what the salt would be. That's a seed. Looks like a mustard seed. And I like to sprinkle that because that really perks the flavor. I'd say about 1/4 teaspoon. Perks the flavor up. And also we're going to add some paprika to it. A lot of times I put that on the top. You can put it in it or on the top, either one. Let me see, did I forget anything? I think we're okay. Let's snip some fresh parsley in there too. Okay. Now, you know, on this picnic, we're going to have some steamed corn on the cob also. And we've got, many times I'll use my ice bucket to put cans of pop in there with some ice to use like a place to chill down, you know, your beverage or your cans of pop that you're going to be giving your guests. There's lots of ideas, and really, you know, if you're having like a lot of people, like one time we still had our swimming pool, and I had invited about 15, and about 30 people showed up. Now, what I served that day, I had gotten chicken, and I had made about 30 or 40 pieces of chicken. Had a big tray of lasagna, in fact, 2 big pans of lasagna, and a big tossed salad. Because the mark of a good hostess is to spend time with your guest, not spend the whole day in the kitchen, because, you know, it looks like the food's more important to you than your guests are, and that's just not right. So what I like to do is plan as much ahead as I can, and then that morning, like when these 30 people showed up, I was glad I had prepared enough for everyone. We had a great time. I mean, everybody was we had flags all around the pool. It was the 4th of July, and we celebrated. We had a real good time. Okay, so here we are with the potato salad. I think we've got everything in there now. Now, there's no great secret to my dressing, because my family likes plain old mayonnaise dressing, and that's what I use. Some people will add a little pickle juice to the mayonnaise dressing. I think I'm going to mix this up before I put that on, because if you don't, the mayonnaise will catch a big glob of egg or something, and then it won't evenly be distributed. There we go. Okay. So you can add pickle juice to this. Some people add vinegar and sugar, and then they put milk in it. I found, and now I'm not saying that every mayonnaise is good. I personally like Hellmann's, and you can use the reduced fat, the reduced calorie. Any of that. Potatoes are very good for us. You can thin down the mayonnaise if you don't want it to be so thick. Well, you could thin that down with a little bit of milk or a little bit of cream, something like that. But the thing is this sets, it will get stickier because the mayonnaise will, now this is a lot of potato salad here. Certainly more than for 4 people. Did we think that, Linda? Is that what we thought? We thought it would serve 4? 6 to 8 people. Okay, that looks more like it. Now, if you're like my brothers who love potato salad, I would say give them 2 forks and a bib, because they love it. I think I'll add a little bit more to that. And of course, it's according to your taste. There's no set design on this by any means. But it will absorb, so if you're making this ahead of time, you might want to tuck a little mayonnaise. If you're going out to a park, take some with you in case it seems dry when you go to serve it. See how nice in color, that little bit of paprika, when you incorporate that in with, instead of just sprinkling it on top, in with the potatoes, it gives it a good color. And basically, that is it. You're going to taste it, make sure it's got enough salt, it's got enough other flavorings. You might want to add, some people like to add fresh dill to this. I do, because I like dill. Sometimes they add garlic or onion salt, you know, besides the celery flavor. I think that takes, I like the onion to have its own flavor in this. So I just kind of do it like that. We're going to put this, I hate all this cleanup, you know. It would be wonderful to have a maid that could kind of help you out with this stuff. I mean, I like to cook, but boy, the cleanup is a real downer sometimes. Anyway, put this in a nice, really nice casserole or a covered dish, because you will want to cover this. You don't want it in the refrigerator picking up all kind of tastes that might be in there, so you're going to be sure to cover this. I would say 3 to 4 pounds of potatoes would definitely serve 6 to 8 people. And so you can kind of judge that. If you look in the back of your cookbooks, it will also explain to you portion sizes and then just how much you're going to need for everything. So, how much time do we have here? Oh, we got, okay, good. I want to be sure that you see all the recipes today, so I'm kind of rushing through. And of course, as always, these recipes are available for your self-addressed stamped envelope, and we'll tell you in just a few minutes how you can receive them and what to ask for. Okay, there's the potato salad. Looks pretty good. Nice color. Don't want it to look bland. Now what I do, get rid of this. Now what I'll do, we want to decorate this a little bit. And this is where I would sprinkle more paprika on the top. Okay. And then I kept one of the eggs out whole. Okay. It's got a little pepper on it there. And you can make a flower with it. You can just cut it in circles and spread them around. Just be creative. Me, I'm just going to cut it straight down. If it cooperates, I am. This is saw blade, so you have to saw it back and forth. Aha. Okay. And then I'm going to make a little flower here. Just open it up, turn that one over like that. And let's get a little sprig of celery. Now see, you say, "Oh, Arlene, that takes too much time." It really doesn't take time. But look how much nicer the top of that looks when you've just added a little bit of color. Isn't that pretty? Try to keep it down in here. It's getting too noisy from all the rave reviews. And this is going to be put in the refrigerator until serving time. I'm going to set it aside right now because I've got something else I have to show you, or we're not going to have time. Okay, the next will be our chicken. And this is our Firecracker baked chicken. And this is so easy, you will be amazed. You'll say, "I'm going to make this all the time." What you take is a couple of pounds of chicken. You have, this is 3/4 cup of mayonnaise. I don't think it's going to take that much mayonnaise, but you can start out with that. And we're going to add a couple of shots of Tabasco. Now, you say, "Oh, Arlene, that's so hot." If you don't like the Tabasco, don't add it. Your chicken just won't have a firecracker, that's all. But no, seriously, if you don't like it, don't use it. If you've got little kids that's going to be eating the chicken, go easy on it because you don't want kids to have their mouths burning. And really, it's not that bad. That looked like a lot, but it's really not that bad. Okay, we're mixing the Tabasco with plain old mayonnaise. Okay, we'll set that aside. Then in our Ziploc bag, or any kind of a plastic bag, this is 1 cup of cornflake crumbs, not breadcrumbs. This is cornflake crumbs, okay? 1/2 cup Parmesan cheese. Okay, we're going to mix that together, set that aside. Here's a couple of pieces of the chicken that I want to show you how you're going to clean it off and get it ready, because we have some already baking in the oven, so we could show you, because it bakes for an hour. Now what I do, I remove all of the skin because we don't need to be eating the skin. It's not good for us. And with this kind of a crispiness on the outside, you don't need it. I'll tell you, if you're tempted to eat it, just look at skin and look at the fat that's under the skin and think about that going through your veins, and you won't want to eat it because it's not good for you, like I said. It really isn't. Okay, there's 1 piece of chicken. I like to trim this little bit of fat off of here too because we don't need that. Okay. And you can I use cut up chicken, and I bought an extra pack of thighs because my family likes thighs a lot. And we'll just trim off that skin. We don't need that again. And any excess fat that we can get rid of, let's do it. Trim it down. Okay. Very good. Now, what we're going to do, here's a little piece back here we don't need. You take the mayonnaise that you have added the Tabasco sauce to, and this is your chance to paint. Okay? You're going to paint the mayonnaise onto the chicken. This can be reduced mayonnaise. It can be milked, thinned down with some milk if you want to. Then you put it in your bag, 1 piece at a time. Give it one of those deals. Get your pan ready because you're going to put this on a cookie sheet, sprayed with Pam. And I tell you, that's all there is to it. We're ready to go. You don't fry it first or anything. It's ready to go when you have done that. Can you imagine how fast this is just to spread this on, paint it on both sides, toss it in the bag, okay? And that, you're done. That's all there is to it. This will bake for 1 hour in the oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour. And that chicken will show you at the end of the program how crispy and delicious it is. Okay, let's just put that in there to bake. Our beans are in there, they're cooking. Now I'm going to show you the brownies that we're doing. Well, we're moving right along here. These are 4th of July brownies, and these are brownies probably like you have never had before. Very quick, and we're going to put it together, and I'll show you what I mean. Here I have 6 tablespoons of butter or margarine in the pan that has been melting. And And I'm going to take 6 tablespoons of cocoa. I'm going to add that to it and make sure that when it's melted, it will all mix together. Okay? Meanwhile, in a mixing bowl, I'm going to put my 1 cup of sugar, and this is the second ingredient that goes in, is this chocolate that is melted, the cocoa that's melted down with the butter. Now, a lot of times I don't use the regular butter in baking. I'll use a good grade of margarine, unless it really makes a difference in the taste. When it gets like that, you're ready to go. Okay? We're going to add that to the sugar. Now, you know how I always tell you, make sure you get it all out of there? I'm going to tell you again, make sure you get it all out of there, because you need all that chocolate. You heard it once, you heard it again. We're going to keep saying it. No, because it's a waste to leave it in the pan like that, because it might affect the outcome of your recipe that you're making. So get it all out of there, okay? Now, we're going to mix the sugar and the chocolate together until it's blended, okay? You have to make sure, incorporate it. Don't want to see any white sugar showing. Okay, here we go. Okay, then to that, once you get to that point, you can even melt that in a microwave if it's more convenient for you. It doesn't matter. Then we're going to beat the eggs in one at a time, which is going to be a trip because I've got them both in the same. But we're going to try, see if we can get, there it goes. Okay, you beat the egg in there one at a time. And there's no baking soda or baking powder in this, okay? But you have to incorporate this very well, because I think that the egg is what's going to cause it to raise a little bit. So you want to beat them really well. There's 1, there's 2. Okay? This smell, because the cocoa smells so good, it just smells wonderful. Once you get this beat in there, and you can do this with the mixer, but you really don't need to. I mean, if it's easier for you, if you have a problem with doing that, then you might need to do it with the mixer, but I don't think you have to. All right, now we're going to add the flour, and what I do is add my walnuts to the flour, and I'll tell you why. Did you ever have a brownie where the nuts are all laying in the bottom, or a piece of cake? If you coat them with flour, they'll stay up in the batter. So you just kind of mix them around a little bit, toss them in there. That's a 1/2 cup of walnuts, 3/4 cup of flour, and we're going to put a little bit of vanilla in here too, like about a teaspoon, okay? Now, basically, that's the whole brownie recipe. This bakes in a 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes. Once you get this stirred up and you pour it in your pan, that's basically it. But the key to this recipe is that once they bake the 25 minutes, you bring them out and you cover them with mini marshmallows. Return it to the oven just until the marshmallows melt, and then you bring it out and you smooth it all over. See, it's just about there. This is just about there. You smooth it with marshmallow and you let it set up a little bit, and then you glaze it over with just some chocolate. And those are our 4th of July brownies. You prepare your pan. If it doesn't have this coating on it, make sure that you grease it real well. We're just going to spread this in there. This is such an easy recipe for brownies. And if you don't want to go the marshmallow route, you can certainly put chocolate icing, make you a chocolate icing, which is very easy. This is one of the moistest brownies, and just tastes good. And I'll tell you, this is a great start for your special day, 4th of July. We'll be right back with the whole picnic. Well, here's our 4th of July feast, and I just wanted to show you how good and how easy it is to make these hot dogs, because let me get my bun here, taking one right out here that I just did. Look, nicely cooked. Put that in that bun, and your kids are bound to enjoy it. Also, let's take a look. This is our wonderful Firecracker baked chicken, crisp and done to a T. Our potato salad, Patriotic potato salad, and it's just as creamy as can be. Very good flavor in it. You're going to enjoy it. The baked beans. Let me come around here and show you how nice and thick these baked beans have gotten in my Boston baked bean pot too. These are the things that create the atmosphere for a 4th of July. We've steamed some corn on the cob. These are our brownies, our marshmallow brownies, 4th of July brownies that I've told you about. And remember, I told you, put the marshmallows on, put them back in the oven just until they melt, spread it out, and then just glaze it on the top with some melted chocolate. And these, with the walnuts inside, this is something your kids are going to say to you, Mom, will you make those 4th of July brownies again? What would be more better to complete this kind of a picnic than a nice big watermelon and some fresh fruit? You know, it's important for us to remember that the 4th of July is something to celebrate. It's something to be excited about. And do something special for your kids. Take them out to where they're having the fireworks, but most of all, let them know what it is to be an American and how important it is for them to know that there's no country in the world like the good old USA. I hope you've enjoyed our picnic, and I hope you have a very special day with your family. It's always fun to be with you. Remember today's recipes. What number was it now, Linda? 113. Don't forget, ask specifically for recipe number 113, and we'll be glad to send them all to you. But be sure to join us the next time, because it just wouldn't be the same without you right here at home. See you then. Bye-bye now.
Fresh produce provided by Jordan Banana, wholesalers of fresh fruit and vegetables in Dravosburg, PA. Cookware provided by Woolies. Your favorite gourmet deserves the best for less at Woolly Balcony Cookware. Groceries provided by Foodland, where the answer is always yes. Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.